Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Keegan here and welcome back to the channel, and I'm back with a brand new video for you guys. And welcome to another edition of Questions and Answers. This is going to be my 21st Questions and Answers video, and this is going to be for Thursday, October 21st, 2021. And as always, if you have any questions you'd like me to answer, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I will answer them in the next Questions and Answers video. So today I have a total of 17 questions to answer. So I don't really have too much else to say. So sit back, relax, enjoy the video, and let's take a look at the questions I have to answer this time. So starting off in alphabetical order by username, the first 5 questions come from andykishore, and his first question is, do you plan on getting the Many Saints of Newark on Blu-ray 4K Ultra slash 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray if it comes out? I know you have The Sopranos the Complete Series Blu-ray box set. Yes, I will get that either on Blu-ray or the 4K Blu-ray if it does get a 4K Blu-ray release. Although I didn't necessarily love the movie, but I personally enjoyed the movie for what it was. But yeah, I will get it on Blu-ray eventually. I did a review of The Many Saints of Newark recently. If you want to check that out, the link to that will be in the description. So yeah, moving on to the next question from Andy Keyshore, which is, are you aware that there's an untitled Mario film planned for 2022 based on the Nintendo character? Yeah, I have heard. I think everybody has heard of it by now because there was memes everywhere going on. And apparently they're going to have Chris Pratt voicing the main character, Mario, of course. Although, like, kind of surprised is they're going to do an animated one. Not like that 1993 live action one they did, the one with John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins. It's not going to be like that. But yeah, I heard about that. Don't know if I'll see it though. I don't really have time for kids movies these days, unless if it's ones that I grew up with, like I've said before in some of my previous videos. Yeah, so moving on, the next one is, are you aware that there's a COVID-19 news section on the YouTube homepage, and it's been there every day for the past year and a half? Yes, and I think everybody knows that. And I'm not going to say anything else because I don't like talking about COVID at all. So, anyways, the next one from Andy Keyshore is, are you aware that there's a new Home Alone of the new Home Sweet Home Alone that's been set to release on November 12th, 2021 on Disney Plus? Also, do you think that the movie looks like a bad rehash like everyone else has been saying? Which it's basically a remake of the old Home Alone movie. And I got to tell you, this Home Sweet Home Alone, oh my god, it looks terrible. I do not have any interest in seeing it. Plus, it's only on Disney Plus. I don't even have Disney Plus. And I'm not going to see it either way, Home Sweet Home Alone. I refuse to watch it. The first 2 Home Alone movies are timeless classics, in my opinion. Although I personally didn't mind the third Home Alone movie. I don't plan to watch any of the other Home Alone movies that came out after 3. And I'm not going to see Home Sweet Home Alone either way. It looks terrible, in my opinion. And the last one from Andy Keyshore is, what's your favorite Seinfeld character? I don't know what's my favorite character in Seinfeld. There's a lot of good characters, but I don't know what's my favorite character in Seinfeld. So those are all the questions from Andy Keyshore. And now let's move on to some other questions I have to answer. And thanks for the questions, Andy Keyshore. And now let's move on to the other questions I have to answer. The next question comes from Chill Rob G, and this question actually came from another video. Well, it actually came from my last video that I did, which was my movie review on No Time to Die. And Chill Rob G's question is, what actor do you think would be a good choice for the next James Bond movie? I don't know. I don't know who would be a good choice to casting the next James Bond actor. I'm not really sure. But that's a good question. But I don't know how to answer that question. So that's the question from Chill Rob G. And now let's move on to the other questions. And thanks for the question, Chill Rob G. And now let's go on to the next one. This next question comes from GTA 5 fan 22, and his question is: Isn't it funny we both have the same similar opinion on the movie The Backup Plan from 2010? I guess so. I only saw that movie once. I didn't really want to see it. My mom made me watch it for some reason. I can't remember. It was like almost 10 years ago. I was 11 at the time, but she made me watch it. I can't exactly remember why, but yeah, it wasn't a very good movie. It had Jennifer Lopez in it. I can't even remember what happened in it. It just wasn't a very good movie. But yeah. So that's the question from GTA 5 fan 22. And now let's move on to the other questions. And thanks for the question, GTA 5 fan 22. Now let's move on. So the next three questions come from SavageHilda. And his first question is: What's your opinion on From Hell from 2001? I think it's a pretty good movie, although it's not a great or an amazing movie. I like it for what it is. I've never read the comic book that it was based on, which was written by Alan Moore, but maybe one day I'll read it. The next one from Savage Hilda is: What's your opinion on Schindler's List? I've seen that movie once, and I have it on Blu-ray. I've only seen it once a few years ago when I was 14. And I thought it was a really, really great movie. Definitely one of Steven Spielberg's best movies. Although kind of a dark movie and definitely a hard to watch movie considering the fact that it's a Holocaust movie, but I think it's a fantastic movie. It's definitely one of Spielberg's best movies. He actually won the Best Picture award for that movie, in fact. And I think he won Best Director, I think. Or I think he did, or I think that went to Jane Campion when she directed The Piano. I can't remember though. But Schindler's List is a great movie though. And the last one from Savage Hilda is: Which Suicide Squad do you like better, the 2016 or the 2021 version? I've only seen the 2016 one, and I thought it was meh, it was all right. It wasn't the best, but it was all right. I have not seen a 2021 Suicide Squad, or The Suicide Squad is what it's called. Don't even know if I will, because I don't really have interest or the time or interest for all these superhero movies these days. And yeah, a number of other reasons. So yeah, I hope that answers your questions. Thanks for the question, Savage Hilda. And now let's move on to some other questions I have to answer. Alright, so now we only got 8 questions left for this episode, and then we'll be done. And they all come from one user, and that user being ThatMovieNerd44. So the first question from ThatMovieNerd44 is: Are you going to get rid of your X-Men Blu-ray box set because of Bryan Singer? Didn't really think about it until I saw that comment, but yes. Now, for those who don't know, about a month ago, I did a getting rid of video, and in that video, I showed off that I was getting rid of Bohemian Rhapsody, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, even though Bryan Singer didn't direct Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, that was James Gunn. But anyways, in that video, I went on to discuss the accusations made against James Gunn in a lawsuit that he may or may not, his name came up in a lawsuit relating to a sexual assault. Now, if you've seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. And in that video, I would later go on to say that I'm going to get rid of Bohemian Rhapsody because of a lot of the stuff that's being said about Bryan Singer. Now, over the years, a lot of the Bryan Singer accusations have been going on since 2014, but then the cases were dropped again, but then they came back up again in 2019 when the movie, not long after the movie won, I believe it was Best Lead Actor or whatever. I can't remember what it exactly won for exactly. And, yeah, it's a long story, but yeah, I'm going to get rid of the Bryan Singer box set because of that. If you've seen the video that I did, you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, that answers that question. And the next one from that movie nerd 44 is, have you heard of the HBO show Oz? Yeah, I've heard of it, and I've actually watched that whole series, and I actually really enjoy that show. I love that show. That was a great show. Although it kind of went downhill around the second half of season 4, but for the most part, I liked it, even though it kind of got weird around the second half of season 4, and it just got kind of ridiculous. But for the most part, I liked Oz. I thought Oz was a great show. It was a pretty crazy show too, but I liked it for the most part. The next one from that movie number 44 is, have you seen the Rocky movies? I haven't seen any of the Rocky movies. However, I have seen the spin-off movie Creed, the first one. I haven't seen the second one though, but other than that, I haven't seen any of the Rocky movies besides Creed, which was a spin-off, but yeah. The next one from that movie nerd 44 is, are you looking forward to Ghostbusters Afterlife? I guess. I will say it looks much better than the 2016 Ghostbusters movie, but nothing beats the first two Ghostbusters movies. Those ones will always be the best, but you never know. Maybe it will be good, but we shall see. But I'll say this, nothing beats Ghostbusters 1 and 2. They're the best movies in the whole franchise. So, the next one from that movie number 44 is, what do you think of Disney as a whole? I think they're good. They're a good company of making animated movies for kids and all that. But I find it, although I kind of have an issue with them making all these live action remakes of their old movies. Like, why do they need to keep making live action remakes? I don't get it. But I guess it is what it is. It's just for the money. But I don't mind Disney. I don't really watch Disney movies these days, though, unless it's ones I grew up with. Excuse me. Anyways, moving on. The next one from that movie nerd 44 is, what do you think of the Western genre? I like the Western genre. I think it's a pretty good genre of movies. I like movies like Django Unchained, No Country for Old Men, and so on. I don't watch Western movies all the time. I watch Western movies every once in a while, but I think the Western genre is a pretty cool genre for movies and in video games too, like Red Dead Redemption and so on. And the last one from that movie nerd 44, and this is also the last question for the video. What is your least favorite movie that won an Oscar for Best Picture? I've only seen two movies that won Best Picture that I didn't like, and those movies were Crash, the 2004 movie, not the David Cronenberg, the 2004 movie, and Nomadland. I didn't really like Crash that much. Just, I don't know. I didn't really care for it. It wasn't terrible, but it was all right. I just didn't really care for it. And Nomadland, I was not really a big fan of. I wanted to like it, but I couldn't. I thought the movie was kind of boring, and it just wasn't really my cup of tea. But it was all right. I was kind of disappointed by it, and I just thought it just nothing really happened in it. But it wasn't a terrible movie. It just wasn't really for me. So those are the two of my least favorite movies that won an Oscar for Best Picture, but that's just my opinion at least. And well, those are all the questions for this video. Well, that wraps up another edition of Questions and Answers. And like I said in the beginning, if you have any questions you'd like me to answer, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will answer them in the next episode coming soon. And if you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment below, and subscribe for more videos like this. And feel free to follow me on my Instagram and my Letterboxd. The link to those will be in the description down below. But that's all I have to say. So until next time, this is Keegan Shepard signing off. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.